welcome to a new edition of Culture Magazine. As usual, we bring you the latest cultural events that are taking place here in Egypt. But before we start, let's take a look on the latest culture updates that took place during the course of this week.
Grand Sheikh of Al-Azhar Ahmed Al-Tayyib was named the top cultural figure of the year by the Sheikh Zayed Book Awards Board. The organization's General Secretary Ali bin Tamim described Tayyib as a researcher and specialized philosophy professor. Tayyib was described as a proponent of tolerance and dialogue of moderate Islam. The International Festival for Drums and Traditional Arts is to start on the 19th of this month. The 7-day festival is titled Joined by Love for Egypt. 35 troupes from 25 countries will perform at the Citadel, including groups from the Maldives, Colombia, Ecuador, Sudan, China, and France. It only makes sense that Brazilian musician Gilberto Gil is this year's guest of honor at the 5th Cairo Jazz Festival. Each year, the festival pays tribute to a major musician who has influenced the genre of jazz, such as Egypt's Omar Khayrat and Lebanon's Ziad Rahbani. Gil, a music phenomena, greatly impacted the music world through his 50-year career, blending jazz with reggae, folk, and samba.
We're here today at an art gallery that's displaying works by two different artists, very different artists, Omar al-Nagdi and Karim al-Khotani, who are from different generations as well. And this can really show in their artwork. One likes to use a lot of colors, and the other likes to use black and white or simple real colors. So let's go take a look at the differences between the different kinds of artwork, and hopefully you're going to enjoy both pieces of art, and you'll see the differences. Joining us right now is Mr. Walid Abdel Khalid. He's the founder of this art gallery and he's hosting the artwork here. Could you tell us about the idea of hosting two different artists, completely different artists?
Actually, they are in. Those are two galleries. The Masar Gallery has Al Masar Gallery for Contemporary Art, and it has the newly opened venue. It's called Al Masar Gallery, the Art Lounge. I dedicated the Art Lounge for the younger artists to show the younger talents and to host few artists I'm working with now, who are going to feature their first, they are going to mark their first solo. So I'm encouraging those artists, and at the same time, I do a master at the main gallery. So this is an idea that I always think about, which is the continuity between the different generations. Nagdi is an artist from the 3rd generation, very well known and eminent artist from the 20th century art in Egypt. And Karim is from the 6th generation. So this diversity makes people also understand more the trip that the art has done, has traveled from 1908 until today in art. About this exhibition of Omar Nagdi, it's called Impulsive Expressionism, and it talks about how the artist can contain all of the experiences and the scenery and images he have seen in his life, and with a sudden event that can happen to him, something that he sees, something he hears about, it just give birth to one of those images that has been stored in the subconscious of the artist. And it comes out as a painting that impulsively he paints. So I would say all of those paintings has been painted with a simple pushing button of the subconscious.
Joining us again is Dr. Mustafa Al-Azzaz, who's an artist and is here today to see the galleries available. He's going to talk to us about the artist Omar Nagdi. Could you please tell us what do you think of this? It's a great contrast between this side of the art gallery and Karim's work.
The contrast between the two artists is justified. They are far two generations. One is very young and one is pretty old. One have his career, long career in working with materials, working with mosaics, working with glass, working with brass, working with graphics, working with painting. And he is prominent artist known in Egypt and all over the world. While Karim is a young, strong artist, very strong artist, and he is not only promising, he has already have his promise in his hand. That's the difference. The other thing, of course, the difference reflects itself in the quality and the kind of art and the subject matter of the artist. So while Nagdi is devoted to his old subject matter, the cafes and the oriental subjects, like as if he is kind of modern orientalist. So he does the subjects of the orientalist with the Egyptian eye. The cafes, the markets, the bazaar, the hammam, and all of these. That's the other difference. Also, in Nagdi have created for himself a strategy of stylizing his elements, inspiring the folk art and the Islamic art. So he looks at the folk art and Islamic art and dissolve them like a translucent layer over his imaginary or over his contemporary subjects. And he does some hybrid composition of both. Then he has the liberty to use the two-dimensional and the three-dimensional. He has the liberty to draw antiquities like ancient dolls and ancient elements and arabesque subjects and folk seats and folk jars and folk utensils, as well as people which they are like the what do you call it, shadow puppet theater elements. When you see the shadow puppets, you see two-dimensional features, has light behind them, then they have this vibrant tonality in on the screen. That's why he has so many inputs. That's why his work is so busy. Lots of elements, and they are intruding each other, actually. But yet, because he has high experience and deep experience, he is able to tame those so many elements in a balanced and rhythmic composition. And that is, I think that is the most challenging thing he faces. because whenever you add lots of details and lots of elements and lots of colors and lots of directional lines, then you lose the balance and you lose the unity and you lose the tempo of the rhythm. That's, for instance, that is Karim doesn't face any this problem because he does make the face, filling the cadre. No problem of composition of anything, and also using neutral or monochromic color. Then there is no challenge against him to have his unity. But here, the artist needs deep and long experience in order to acquire this kind of balance and stability and serenity of the composition.
What about, like, for instance, with this over here? I don't know why, I just get the feeling that it's got some sort of pharaonic elements in it as well.
No, I think he doesn't, Omar Nagdi doesn't get much into the pharaonic, but maybe just spontaneously. But his main source is the folk art. And remind you that folk art is not the folk art of today. It is the cross-section folk art from the prehistory of Egypt till today. That's why he might encounter, and the folk art itself cohere in its build some of the pharaonic roots. That's what reveals in Omar work.
What about the idea of color? He seems to like a lot of bright and big colors.
As I mentioned, color is busy, is loud, and he is not even content with those different and variable colors. He uses gold, uses silver, uses whatever comes to add more of colors. But
I think this has a significance then.
I don't see it as significance, but that's his style. And but the significance is that he can tame all of these colors and all of these colorful materials in one solid, serene composition.
Our camera is always following the latest cultural events that are taking place here in Egypt. If you want to know the details, so stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
The Opera House, headed by Dr. Ines Abdeldaim, in cooperation with Casa Batas Flamenco Foundation, held a new concert for the famous flamenco dance titled I Reject Ceasing to Smile. It aims at enjoying life. The event included a number of songs and dances along with the music of flamenco like The Toy of My Sister, First Love, Madness, and My Friend. The show was designed and directed by Jose Barrios. It was also staged by Ana Gonzalez.